Whether you're finishing up your classes or you finally got your real estate license, the one thing that you probably haven't learned yet is how to build a brand. And you see, that's where I think real estate schools fail us as agents, is we learn all the compliance information, but we don't know what to do with ourselves and how to be successful. Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm a DFW real estate expert, and I'm here to make real estate a little less stressful and a little more fun. So when we think about branding, a lot of people immediately attach to a certain brokerage. And that's not necessarily the mindset that I encourage you to have. You need to focus on yourself and how you're going to brand yourself within whatever brokerage. Now, every state is going to have their own requirements. And for Texas, we are required to have the broker's logo at least 50% of our largest font of our personal logo. Now that's great, but we don't even know yet what we want our logo to look like. And this is where a lot of agents miss it. We pick a brokerage and then try to create a brand, when really what we should be doing is creating our brand and then picking a brokerage that aligns with our brand and our mission. And by brand, I don't mean just what our logo is going to look like. I mean our core values, our mission, our vision, and how we want to serve our client. Because if you don't pick a brokerage that aligns with that, then you're going to end up doing what we call broker hopping and changing a couple months, a couple years into the process. That becomes a giant challenge because you will have already developed a brand and business cards and a website and social media and yard signs. And you then have all of this intel that you have to then put in the trash or stare at in your garage. Ask me how I know. Now, one thing that I wish I would have learned early on is don't focus so small. My first brand, my first logo was all about me. It was Ashley Hart bringing heart to your home. And it was a great design. And I loved it and I was so proud of it. And it's too small, because as soon as you add in teammates or you have other people working underneath you, nobody wants to just work under the Ashley Hart brand. People want to work under a team brand or a universal brand that they can then align with. And so I have all of this branding that I can't do anything with. And so don't become so hyper-focused on yourself today and the size of your company today that you forget who you want to be in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Develop the brand today that you can grow into. So the first thing we got to tackle is, what is our logo going to look like? We can't do anything without a logo. That logo goes everywhere, and it's what's going to establish yourself in the community that you serve. So what do? Well, if you're not a graphic designer, you need to hire a graphic designer to help you with the logo. Sketch something out if you have ideas, and then go online, and there is tons of websites that are willing to help you. Some are more affordable than others, but you do get what you pay for. And I can't emphasize enough how important that sketch is. Please take time to sketch out something on the back of a napkin even, to send over to the artist so that they have some idea of what you're looking for. Otherwise, you two are never going to come together and have a win. Give them some basis to start with of what you're thinking and let them turn it into magic. Now, this logo is going to go on absolutely everything, so don't be afraid to send a revision back and ask for changes. You want it to be perfect because it's going to go everywhere. We're going to start by putting it on our business cards, which is the first area that I want to tackle. That logo is going to go on your business card, and you're either going to use it digitally or you're going to print it out and hand it to people. And sometimes you're going to attach it to client gifts and you're going to drop them off at their house. And sometimes you're going to leave those business cards in unique places trying to drum up business because you're just getting started. And sometimes neither of those options work because maybe you're wearing a dress and it doesn't have pockets. When we first talk about that, that is unacceptable. Now, you have a digital option. Everybody's got their phone all the time. And whether you use an app that syncs all of your contact information over to the other party, or whether you just have a simple JPEG on your phone that you share with people, you ask for their phone number and you send it over. And that's a great way to make that personal connection. And while it might require a little bit more work on the front end to get their phone number, those are the people that you're more likely to do business with. So why not have that image saved on your phone, ready to go, just in case? So the next thing that we have got to talk about is email. When you sign up with a brokerage, they're going to assign you a broker domain email. And this is great, and it makes you look instantly professional. But what they don't tell you is that it makes it really hard for you to one day leave the brokerage. If you wake up 2 years down the road and realize that you've made the wrong branding decision and you want to transition to a different brokerage, if you've been using their email, it's very difficult because they have access to all of that and you can't take that with you. So I highly encourage you to spend the money up front and get your own domain. Not only does it set you apart in the industry, it allows you the flexibility to know that you have control of all of that information. And I'll tell you a personal story. I made the difficult transition from one brokerage to another after using the broker domain email after 2 years. And now all of those clients and all of that information, all of those transactions that I served during that time, I don't have access to. Now, from a compliance perspective and a legal perspective, I can always contact the broker and get access to those documents. That's not an issue. But little questions here and there, or maybe things that I did for them that I want to remember and do again, all of that is gone. Don't make the same mistake that I made. Get your own professional email. So just like we had to figure out what our business cards were going to look like, now you get to figure out what your signs are going to look like. And you're going to want to rush out and order a bunch of them. And you're going to want to get the biggest and the baddest and the fanciest signs. And the problem is those cost a lot of money. And when you're starting out, funds are not readily available. So don't wait forever to get your first sign, because what if you get a listing on week 1? Congratulations, you have a listing, you have no way to sell it, you have no sign to put in the yard. But don't go for the biggest, baddest, most expensive piece of equipment either, because it's not necessary. Contrary to popular belief, the sign is not going to sell the house. It does take more than just putting a sign in the yard. Now, design perspective of the sign. Different brokerages will have different rules about how you can design your sign. And some brokerages will allow you to do your own creative design, and others will require that you use one of their prefabricated design. And both of those are fine. It just depends on which broker you align with. So pick the broker you align with, design the sign, use your graphic designer to help you lay out that design on different formats, order the sign, and have at least 1 or 2 ready to go for when you get that first client. And pro tip, when it comes to printing your signs, I would definitely recommend to find a local print shop, because while the big businesses are great, your local guys are the ones that you can create a relationship with, and they're gonna pull you out of a jam. Like last week, when I had too many listings and not enough signs, and I needed them to order more aluminum and print some signs quickly. I got an email today that said, "Hey Ashley, they're ready to go, come pick them up." Big businesses aren't gonna do that for you. And the last thing that you wanna be doing is running house to house and shifting signs around, trying to make it work while you wait for the new ones to come in. So far we've talked about things that cost money. And one thing that doesn't cost money is social media. It is right there at your fingertips on your phone every single day. Why would you not use it? And I think that so often new agents say, well, I'm not ready yet, or I don't know enough yet, or nobody would want to listen to me, or I don't like the way I look on camera, I don't like the way I sound on camera. Well, newsflash, you look the way you look and you sound the way you sound. And that's the best advice that I ever received from a very intelligent man named Kyle Draper. And he is the guru when it comes to getting on video, and I have him to thank for all of this. And people are more interested in you and who you are and the journey that you're going through than if you start 2 years down the line like I did. You see, I didn't get on social media at the beginning because I didn't think that I was good enough, and I didn't like the way I looked, and I didn't like the way I sounded. And I thought that I had to be perfect. I thought that I had to have it all figured out. And I didn't have it figured out, and I was scared and I was embarrassed. And then Kyle challenged me and he said to do it. And so I did it. And you can do it too, and it doesn't cost you a dime. It doesn't cost you anything to pick up your phone and record yourself and to put it out there. And the sooner you start, the sooner you will start to have a following, and the sooner you'll start to see the results of that following. And what if your first deal comes from social media? Mine did. I posted for a full year random content about selling houses before somebody ever reached out. And you see, they assumed that I had been doing business that whole time because I talked about it as if I had. I went to open houses, I toured other listings, I talked about other agents' listings with their permission and their broker's permission. So when my friends and family and their friends saw me on social media, they just assumed that I was wildly successful, and I wasn't. But I still got the business, and you can too. So don't let money or fear stop you, because if I can do it, I promise you, you can do it. So one question that you may or may not be thinking is, I've got social media, do I really need a website? And the short answer is yes, yes you do. Not only so that you show up in the search engine, but also so that your clients know that you really exist. right? Your website doesn't have to be super fancy. I don't really care if it even looks good or has all the information, as long as you meet the compliance regulations, of course, but you do have to have one. And the next piece of that is make sure that the domain of your website matches your email. It makes you look instantly more legit. If your website is provided by the broker, I'm sure they're great, but referencing back to before when I said if you choose to leave one day, you can't take that website with you and you're gonna have to rebuild it again. So if you gotta do that, build it once and pay for the domain. It's worth the money. So you're probably wondering, how in the world am I gonna get all this done? How am I gonna design a brand, pick a brokerage, design a business card, design a sign, set up my email, set up a website, get on social media and all the different iterations of social media that exist, and also still make money? You're right, it's like drinking from a fire hose. In the very beginning of real estate, it's so hard, and it's gonna be late nights and early mornings, and if you're working a second job just to cover the bills in the meantime, I feel for you, I was there. You can do this. I promise you, you can do this. Do not stop now. Dive in, head first, get after it, call me with questions. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. My whole goal with this channel is just to make real estate a little less stressful and a little more fun. Please remember to like and subscribe. It really does make a difference, and I'll see you in the next video.